Hello and thank you for joining me. I'm Heather Forgan of stampwithnellie.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the UK. Today's project is this lidded box with a stunning ribbon bow, and I am using the Delicate Pines stamp set. This is an online exclusive that will be available on the 3rd of September 2025. And as you can see, lots of lovely images in there, although I've just used that sentiment today. There is also this Delicate Pines die set. This one has 22 dies in it, loads of combinations, and I have only used a handful of the dies from the set for my decoration. So I've got my sentiment there, I've got my little pine cone there, there's a little leaf sprig there, and I've also got a little bit of a pine sprig there as well. The designer series paper is called, forgotten, it's all new, Elegant Pine Snowflakes, and I'll just quickly show you the designs on this. So you've got some lovely bright clean designs, and then some kind of abstract ones on the back. This is the one that I've used for my lid on my box, and we've got a similar design there. It's like a watercolour wash with salt put on it. Absolutely love this one. And we've got snowflakes on a kind of watercolour wash on that one. And then we've got two designs that are a little bit more dark. Absolutely love them though, very luxurious. And we've got garden green on the back there with snowflakes. This is the one I'm going to use for my next box. And we've got old olive on the back of that one. And another stunning, rich looking one there. Absolutely gorgeous. So the colours in this: cherry cobbler, garden green, old olive, pretty peacock, secret sea, and shaded spruce. Shaded spruce is the colour of the ribbon. And as you can see there, it's got a shimmer across the ribbon as well as having that gold edging to it. Just gorgeous. However, I'm not going to use that for my next one because I'm changing up the colour scheme, and instead of using shaded spruce, I'm switching it over to pretty peacock. I've already done some of the, well, most of the cutting and some of the scoring. You will get all of the measurements for this project in my blog post. There will be a link to that in the description for this video. This piece measures 6 1/4 by 6 1/4, and I've already gone ahead and scored it on all 4 sides at 1 1/2. As you see, my lid doesn't come all the way down, it only comes halfway down. So this piece is smaller. I need to cut this to measure 4 13/16. So we've got 4 3/4, and then just a little smidge more than that. Okay, so let me just 4 3/4, and then just that extra little mark there, not to the full 7/8 one there, just to that one in between. Okay, so do that, cut that, turn it around and line it up at the same point again, 4 3/4, and then a little extra mark. And that 1/16 of an inch is just what we need to make sure that our lid fits over nicely. This time I'm going to score at 3/4 of an inch on all 4 sides. 3/4 of an inch. 3/4. Okay. Now you could add paper to the bottom of your box as well. I just like that nice contrast between the bottom of the box and that lid on there. So I need to burnish these and do a little bit of cutting as well. So I'm just going to fold that over and use my bone folder to press down that score line. All the way around. And I'll do the same on the lid. Okay. Now bring in my paper snips. And I'm going to cut up that line there, that score line, just to where it intersects with the other score line there. Okay, then I'm going to take a little wedge out that side and a little wedge out that side too. Okay, turn it around and do the same, straight up to the intersection, chop a bit out, chop a bit out of the other side too. Okay. Turn it around and we'll do that on all 4 corners. Final one. I just like to fold to make sure I've got it right into that corner. There we are. It's a little bit to put away later. Okay, so that is my box base ready to glue. So I'm going to add glue to each of those tabs. Like that. And then just fold it around, line that up and give it a press. Okay. And you can use your bone folder to give it a good press as well. Okay, and then I'll do the next one. Add glue there. Fold that inside. Line up those edges. Give that a press. And then the next 2 I'm going to add glue at the same time, because once you've put one in, the other one gets a bit difficult. So glue on both of those. Fold that one in and line that up. And that one's already in. So we just line it up at the edge like so. And then I can go round, give them all a little press like that. That's the box base done. Ready for you to put in whatever you wish. I'm going to do the same on the corners with this, with the lid. So just chop up to the cross point and little wedge off, little wedge off. Okay. Just quickly whiz round and do the same. And then I like to decorate my lid before I fit it to my base. I'm all about making life that little bit easier. Okay, so I have a piece of white card. Now, as I say, the box measures 3 1/4, so this is 3 1/8 by 3 1/8, and this is 3 inches by 3 inches. So I'm just going to glue those two together and then pop that on. Just make sure I've got an even border. Glue on the back of that. And pop that in the centre there. Okay, and then these measure 3 inches by 1/2 inch, and then the white piece is 3 1/8 by 5/8, and I've clearly not cut that one very well, but never mind. So I've got 4 of each of those pieces. And just layer them up, and again you've just got that neat little border on the outside there, and then those are going to go on the edge here. Okay. Just lining them up. And I already glued these ones ahead of time. So if you're making along, you probably want to pause just now until you get those bits done. Okay, so we have our box lid and base, and I like to put my base inside, and then I can add a little bit of glue onto this tab here, and we'll fold that round just to start us off. Okay, give that a press. Pop my base inside. I'm going to add my glue to the next tab, and I can fold that in, and just to make sure that I've got that quite nice and snug. So I actually have a little bit of an overhang there. I'm going to leave that for now because I might need to adjust a little bit, which is why I love using wet glue. And again, add glue to your last 2 tabs at the same time to make your life easier. Fold that one in, press it down, and final one, press it there. So we've got a nice neat fit apart from that bit. It's unglued itself. Okay, and then I can go around with my paper snips and just look at any bit that has got a little overhang like that and just trim that off. I would rather have a little squint bit than a lid that falls off or is impossible to get off. There we go, nice neat fit. So as I say, I used a ribbon on that one. I'm not going to use it on that one. I am just going to use a piece of white card that I have punched with the modern oval punch. It's a photopolymer stamp. I'm going to stick with cherry cobbler because I like that extra pop of colour. And this time I'm going to put that in the middle of this punch shape. You could stamp and then punch. I just had this punch shape left over from another project that I will share with you at some point. So I'm going to put that on there. I have my die cut pieces. So let's just add a little bit of glue on that. And I mean a tiny bit of glue on that. And line that up with that. So the bottom piece is crumb cake and the top layer is pecan pie. And it goes quite well with that there. And now just do a little bit of floral arrangement. Let me close this first. This die you can cut multiple times and essentially create a sort of snowflake of pine branches. Or you can take that out of there. It is obviously rather delicate, hence the name Delicate Pine. So I'm just slowly teasing that out rather than pulling too hard. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is snip that over like that, and I think I might have a bit there, a bit coming out there, have that there, and that on there. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. So I can either add them all to the back of this piece and pop it all up. Yeah, let's do that. Let's just do that. So a little bit of glue on there. Pop that on there. Don't stick it to yourself, stick it to the card. This one I think I will just put straight on, but just glue it there, just so that I can get the spacing off it. Don't want it to hang over the edge too far. Like that. I'll just do that one like that. Let's just put a little bit of glue on there. Pop that on like so. Let me get my dimensionals. And then take the backings off. Add a little bit of glue on my dimensionals. Take that out of the way for now, just so that I'm sure I'm happy with where I've got that. If I wasn't, because of that glue, I could easily lift it back up again. And then this one, I'm going to put the dimensional at the base of that. And that can sit on there like so. So this one's a little bit more plain. So we could add in some bling. So these are faceted snowflakes. Again, online exclusive. And I think I'll just stick with the on there, and another big one up here, why not? So there we go, two different but similar boxes, all the same measurements, just the decoration that is different, but all using the products from the Elegant Pine Snowflakes suite, online exclusive, available very, very soon. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. If you're new to my blog, please, if you're new to my channel, please click on that subscribe button, click the bell and get notification the next time I upload a tutorial. And as I mentioned earlier, all of the measurements are available in my blog post. There's a link to that in the description. Thanks for watching. Bye.